Wow, this is television history in the making, everyone. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Gutfeld. I'm Joe Mackey, filling in for Greg. He's in South America trying to find a doctor to lengthen his femurs. Anyway, today is Earth Day. So to celebrate, we're only using recycled jokes. A tech startup is pitching an AI-powered home security camera that can be upgraded to shoot paintballs. So, if your home's being invaded by a homicidal maniac, at least you can ruin the guy's shirt. For the second weekend in a row, Civil War is the #1 movie in North America. Antifa is calling it the feel-good hit of the season. The new Atlas robot from Boston Dynamics has a face like a ring light. Hopefully, that gives social media influencers something to look at while mechanical hands crush their throats. That was a Joe DeVito joke, everyone. Sorry about that. A new study found that Americans check their phones 144 times a day. And for one American, that's just to look at himself in the phone's camera. A student in North Carolina was arrested for slapping his teacher in the face. It's a far cry from other high schools where students slap their teachers on the ass after they have sex with them. Okay, let's do the monologue. In case you missed it, Mike Johnson broke his word and teamed with Democrats to give away our freedom and then give away our money. On Saturday, the House passed a $61 billion aid package for Ukraine. And if you're not sure why, here's some historical background on the war.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Okay, but what does that have to do with America? Here's Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly before Saturday's vote, going after Republicans who oppose the aid.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border. It's the border between depraved autocracy and freedom-loving people seeking our democratic way of life. Do we have a stake in that outcome? Yes. Undeniably, yes.
Their border is our border? I guess that explains the millions of Ukrainians coming in through Texas. And why Democrats were waving tiny flags instead of tiny maps. Seriously, after the vote, this happened.
The House will be in order. It is a violation of the quorum to wave flags on the floor. The chair has said it, the speakers repeated it. Please put the flags down.
So those Democrats were cheering and waving Ukrainian flags on the House floor. Good thing they didn't wave American flags. Someone would have gotten arrested. But we just keep being told, just send more cash and they can win and be free. But they can't win, and they weren't really free. Zelensky has thrown opposition in jail, banned churches, and postponed elections. He's practically a Biden. Maybe that's why Ukraine pays his son. And just because you keep pouring money into something doesn't mean they'll win. Just look at the Mets. The same government telling us Ukraine can win has lied to us countless times before. WMDs in Iraq. Afghanistan won't fall like South Vietnam. Russia's economy is going to collapse. Putin is sicker than me after I overdo it at Golden Corral. And our media is just as bad. They said Vlad was at death's door while Biden's been dead, and he just can't find the door. But slowly, the media is coming around. The AP dropped a report on Friday detailing how Russia's ruling the battlefield, where Ukrainian troops are getting pounded like a Kardashian after the NBA All-Star game. just running out of our money and our weapons, they're running out of their people. They just passed a law that'll make it easier to identify every draft-eligible man in the country. Meanwhile, we're constantly told we have to stop Putin or he'll take over Europe. He's no great man, but in 25 years, he's invaded 50% fewer countries than America. The real fight for freedom now is in the West. We are seeing a two-tier justice system, censorship, and hate speech laws that destroy the freedom of disfavored groups. If freedom falls here, there will be nowhere else to go, especially with the surveillance state we've allowed. On Saturday, the Senate reauthorized a section of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which allows warrantless spying on Americans. So maybe before we keep asking for more of your money to make sure Ukraine is free, we should be asking if America is still free. Let's welcome tonight's guests. This Charlie is more hurt than the seats on The View. Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. This Molly has more points than Pete Davidson's license. Editor-in-chief of The Federalist, Molly Hemingway. She's like paper, white, and often gets stuck in the copy machine. New York Times best-selling author and Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. He's like a laundry basket because when men see him, they throw in the towel. New York Times best-selling author, comedian, and former world heavyweight champion. Charlie, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, not nervous in the least. I'm as
Well,
comfortable.
we're all here for you.
I appreciate
that.
that.
I mean, I've never heard you got a full Joe chant.
I got a full Joe chant. Yep. Never hear a real Greg chant.
I didn't want to say that, but that was kind of what I was observing.
I think Fox is going to be regretting that giant contract you just signed after they see how good I do. But let's get to the questions before Greg kills me. Charlie, why is it the United States has their priorities completely wrong? Shouldn't America come first?
Yeah, you would think. And you know, the most remarkable thing about that, especially with the clip you showed, is the problem that Republicans had was the flag waving on the floor. You just sent $60 billion to Ukraine, and the problem they have is the flag waving. And it got me to thinking, you know, you could, if you want to send me $60 billion and no flag waving, I'd be fine with that. But you know, the seriousness of it is that, you know, Republicans look, you know, you've got the stupid party and the evil party, and the stupid party simply is not, you know, they're incapable of fighting for Americans and doing what they want, and quite frankly, I don't know what, you know, what is the incentive for Republican voters to keep voting for them if this is what they get? I don't know.
Sometimes it seems like they're just Republicans because that's where they can win in that state. But I have to say, if there was a stupid party or an evil party that were parties, I'd probably rather go to the stupid party, right?
Well, that's what they're banking on.
Yeah, it'd be more fun.
I'd rather be evil. I'd be evil.
You'd rather go for the evil party?
Yeah, because you're just stupid. I'd rather be evil. I can plan, you know.
Tyrus, what's your take on this?
It's the same thing we always see. They camouflage the. I like the one bill rule. I think that should be across the board, and you can always tell when they lump everything together what the side hustle is or where's this money going. We still can't account for the money that was sent originally to Ukraine. We still have stuff missing. Parts never got delivered, etc. But we're still sending it. So it goes back to what is this really for? And what I'm looking for. This is about re-election bids. They're doing these favors for these lobbyists, and the American people are irrelevant. You keep putting, it doesn't matter whether it's Democrat or Republican, they just get voted in because Americans want to blame everything on the top. It's the president, it's this and that. This is where the problems are, and we have to start paying just as much attention of what old Joe is saying and President Trump is saying as what these guys are saying all the time, because you're seeing where that $60 billion could have went to so many places in this country right now. Our school systems, our veterans, our borders, but it's going off to be laundered to come back here. So it's the same.
Molly, to Tyrus's point, Nikki Haley just got a job at a think tank. It almost seems like what's the disincentive for Republicans to just keep going along with this? If they lose their election, they're just going to get another great job.
Well, I do think we want to point out, I mean, obviously it was a very disappointing weekend, but whereas every Democrat voted for this, more than half of the Republicans voted against it. That's actually what makes it so awful, is that it came out of the House, which is ostensibly controlled by the Republicans, and yet a majority of Republicans voted against it. And so, as frustrating as it is, it does show that there is some positive development in terms of a foreign policy that puts our national interest first and foremost, that says, yes, we want a strong defense, but we want, when we're involved in wars, we want to have a strategy for how to win them. We need to make sure that they are a good thing to be doing. Right now, we've got conflict in Ukraine and Russia, we've got the Middle East, and we've got China looming. And so the American people actually are much more serious than their elected representatives. We don't have any statesmen right now that are currently in office, but the American people, they are being heard.
That's a great point. You're more of an optimist than I thought. I thought Kat was going to be the optimist.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
I strongly disagree with your optimism. I just think in general that, you know, there's so much focus on which politicians and which party, and the parties arguing, and not enough focus on the power that the politicians have. And as a general guiding principle, whenever, and this applies to both war and it applies to FISA, whenever the government is trying to use fear-mongering, try to make me afraid of something, instead of getting swept up in that, I ask myself, okay, if they succeed, then what do they gain if they succeed in making me afraid? And in the case of FISA, I mean, it's a whole lot of power. Okay, FISA should have never been reauthorized at all. This actually expands FISA. And it was overwhelmingly bipartisan. And it is reading about, you know, the Fourth Amendment and the surveillance policy. It can be a little dry. It can be much more fun to say, pick your team and they'll look at what this idiot said and this and that and back and forth. But really, I would encourage anybody who isn't familiar to look at it. I mean, it expanded the government's ability to surveil you without a warrant, which should not be happening in the first place.
Yeah, I thought we had the Fourth Amendment to begin with.
I thought so too.
And you know, just following along with that, you know, obviously Republicans are kind of wandering through the desert right now, and they're lost. But they have so much to build on, and fighting something like FISA is a great way to start. Or taking the actual concern about spending all this money. You know, when you're lost, you should always ask yourself one question: what are you willing to die for? What are you willing to lose everything in order to fight for? And Republicans have a tremendous opportunity right now. Fight for the border. Be willing to lose it all for the border. But they don't have the leadership.
They gave away all their leverage. Tyrus, it seemed to me like Mike Johnson was opposed to it. He got that classified briefing, then he changed his mind. What do you think happened?
The same thing always happens. They say one thing to us, and they go back and they make deals, and this is this, and if you do this for us, we'll do this for you, because everybody wants to be reelected. To your point, when they start actually doing their job, there's a good chance, if they do it the right way, that they won't win the next election. But they did their job and served their country and can move on honorably if that's what it's really about. But they're only going to do things to get reelected. So they'll give us little nooks and crannies of hopes and dreams that are going to come true, but it never actually does.
But I'm willing to bet that if they were to follow their passion and follow their conviction on something, it would end up rewarding them in the end.
Absolutely. But that thing where they say, I used to care about the Fourth Amendment, I used to care about the Constitution, but then I got a classified briefing and it changed my mind. That is so insulting to hear. And also, I just sort of assumed that our intelligence services are just showing them pictures of themselves doing bad things to get them to change their mind.
If it was a fifth, yep.
It makes me wonder how much dirt they'd have on Greg Gutfeld.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.